Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
Good afternoon, everybody, or whatever time you're listening to this podcast. This is the Kwakaratón podcast, a podcast about Kahnawake Tourism. It's the month of October, and the busy season for the Kahnawake Tourism Office is just finished. So again, it's a change in the seasons. So it's a change here for the Kahnawake Tourism Office, and we're sitting here and now we're talking about what in this episode, Kimberly?
Yeah, so like you said, it's a change in season, and in summer we're super busy, right? Like we have people walking in, and in the fall we're really busy with school tours. So every week we have a couple of school tours coming in, and they're doing the regular tour visits. But I mean, that takes up a lot of our tour coordinators' time and efforts, and keeps our tour guides nice and busy. And we have Bronwyn with us here today, and she's been kind of doing a double duty as our current, only French-speaking tour guide who's doing our tour. So she's doing our event coordinating and tour guiding at the same time. So she's quite busy.
Yep, it's been fun.
So, like just closing up our season will kind of be towards the end of this month. In November, it really starts to slow down, and we get to breathe again. And we do some events, which we're going to be talking about today. And we have some upcoming projects for community members to be involved that we'll be talking about too.
Okay, great. And just introduce who we have with us today.
Yeah.
So those who are listening won't be like, hey, whose voice is that?
Yep. So I'm Kimberly Kahnawake Cross, and with us is Bronwyn. You want to introduce yourself?
It's Bronwyn Kahnawake Johns from the Kahnawake Tourism. I'm also the event coordinator, so this is my new role in the organization. But like she said, I'm also handling a lot of the walk-in tours and the French tours that come in. So it's been still very steady, very busy, and especially last week with the Truth and Reconciliation Week, we had representation needed at high schools to get the message out and to talk about that awareness. So I was able to represent at LPP High School in Chattagee last week. So that was really interesting and really nice to see that support from the community, our neighbor community that wants to show their solidarity with us for the movement. So that was really interesting.
And then we have Miss Kaya.
Yep. My name is Iori Kaya Montour. I'm the Public Relations Officer at Kahnawake Tourism. I'm completely new to the team. Everyone else had previous roles, but I just started in August. So I've been doing a lot of external events representing the tourism office, and I've been pretty busy with that all summer, but settling in, and this is my first podcast with the team. So
we're so excited.
All right. So what are some of the events that are coming up for Kahnawake Tourism?
Yeah, I'll let Bronwyn talk about that because she knows a lot more than I do.
So while we're actually currently in studio right now, there is an event that is happening in the community that is the art fair with the cultural center. So that was something that we were really happy to collaborate with. We have the Harvest Fall Fair coming up on October 22nd. That will be held at the Orville Stand-Up Park from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. So far, we have over 20 vendors that have signed up, food vendors. We have the Golden Age collaborating with us. They'll have corn soup sold out of there. We're going to have a pie competition for best pie for all the local bakers in Kahnawake. We're going to have a lacrosse shooting event, potato sack races. We have Tanya Brandt coming down from Six Nations to do cooking on an open fire. We'll have Brooke Rice from Daganyos working with us to have a workshop for Gastoa making, hide work, porcupine quill work, and we're hoping to have hand poke tattoo, but I'm just waiting for that confirmation. So there's going to be a lot of events for all the different age groups to come out and participate and enjoy some yummy food and really showcase our traditional skills to everybody in the community and whoever is coming from outside of the community.
And what's the date of that again?
October 22nd.
I don't know if you said the location. Did I miss that?
Orville Park.
Orville Park. Okay,
Yeah.
so for those who don't know, it's right next to the Golden Age Club
Yeah.
by the Kahnawake Mohawk Legion.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Very excited for that. It's all coming together. So hope to see everybody there.
All right, and
It's a fun-filled day. I mean, if people have gone to our events before, it's nothing unexpected, but really, really fun. We have so many different cultural activities that we're going to be sharing. I'm really excited to hear a lot of those. Like, I want to see them. That's the first time, and maybe I'll get a tattoo if there's tattooing.
I know.
So what else do we have on tap for Kahnawake Tourism over the next little while?
Yep. So we also have another, it's not really an event per se, but it kind of is. It's more for community members. And what we want to do is an informal, let's get together and let's talk about tourism. So I'll let Kaya talk about it a little bit more because she's coordinating it.
So the pop-ups we have, they're called Let's Talk Tourism, and that's going to be held at the Damaz. We're looking at scheduling at least 4 for the time being. Right now we have 2 dates set up. So that's going to be October 19th. We're going to have that from 4 to 7 p.m. And then the following week, October 27th, we're going to have one from 1 to 5 p.m. So the objective of these is to just come out and talk to one of the tourism personnel. We don't really have a definite agenda set up. It's just for those who want to come and learn more about tourism activities. Kimberly and I will be in attendance for the first couple, so it's kind of like a meet the team sort of thing. You can come and ask us any questions you have about tourism. You could learn about upcoming events, strategic plan that we have in place for the coming year. Also, we're looking to start an advisory board. So if you are interested in participating on the advisory board, the functions would be for providing us with opinions on what would or wouldn't be appropriate to offer tourism clients through Kahnawake Tourism and whether we're acting within the best interest of the community. So there's a lot of spark and debate about that right now. So we are welcoming anyone to come and talk to us and see us at any of the dates that we have for the Let's Talk Tourism coming up.
Yeah, we really want to hear from the community. Like Kaya had said, it's your opinions, your concerns, come and see us. This is the opportunity. Like the 2 dates that we have posted so far is just the start of them. So we hope to do these, from now, like October, November, we might do them every 2 weeks or so, and then go into like maybe every couple of months, but make sure that we're doing these throughout the year more consistently. So people are comfortable to come and talk to us about issues and concerns. We're community members. We know what's going on. I know Greg, like what's happening and what people are saying or not saying. And we want to hear the good, the bad, everything.
And I think there needs to be a distinction made between what a tourist is and what people who are just passing through the community, right?
Well, right. There's like undesirable, let's say, behaviors or people. And then there are our visitors who don't fall into that same category. If they are coming to the Welcome Center and they are doing a tour, they're different from what perhaps people are categorizing.
Yeah. And also, if somebody who is a customer of a local business, they're not necessarily a tourist because even though there's somebody that's not from the community that's coming here to spend money at a local business, whether it be a restaurant or one of the gaming facilities or any other store, they're a client of a local business, but they're not necessarily a tourist, right?
Yeah. So like a non-local consumer would be different. And then a tourist is more somebody who's traveling for their pleasure or coming to visit the community for their pleasure or for, learning about history and culture. Like that's what I mean in pleasure. It's more like the leisure side and not just shopping.
Yeah. And then there's people who come here during sporting events that could be considered tourists, whether if it's something like the President's Cup or another large tournament, right? So just because somebody from outside the community is coming into the community, it doesn't necessarily make them a consumer. It doesn't necessarily make them a tourist or an undesirable, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of different things that need to be considered, and a lot of times outsiders just get blanketed with the term of tourists, right? And I think that it's up to everybody in the community to try to dispel that, and of course, the Kahnawake Tourism Office is at the forefront of that.
But it's just like being mindful too of just people. So being mindful of who's around, but being mindful of our community members as well. You know, by people, for lack of better words, I guess, like hating on what we're doing and like labeling everybody as like a tourist, and it's like negative. Like, we're working really hard to make things positive, and all the projects that we're doing, you know, it's for the community, it's for community members. Like, we're providing jobs, we're providing, you know, more business to our local businesses. Like, what we're doing, we're trying to do in a positive way. And
sorry to interrupt, but one of the most important things that I feel like we are doing is we're on an educational campaign. We are really opening up people's eyes that are from Quebec, but also from the world. We get so many people that are coming from all over the world. Just right now, walking out of the office, I was dealing with a family that came from India that is doing an article about native languages in Canada. So that's something that he found out information here that he didn't have from the other communities that he had visited, because every single community in Canada has had a different experience with the residential schools, with assimilation, with the loss of the language. So nobody has had the same experience. And that's something that a lot of these people aren't aware of. They come in and they think that we can speak the same language that people from Cree Nation can speak. So it's really an educational campaign from young children that are coming through doing the school tours or coming with their families to elderly people, 90 years old, that want to learn because they never knew and they've always been curious about us. So that I find is the biggest part of it, is that we're educating people. And by that education, we're gaining allies. And that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, because the best way to combat hate, prejudice, and racism is through education. And because most of that comes from a place of ignorance and not knowing, right? And, you know, if all an outsider knows of Kahnawake is images of warriors at a barricade,
or what Legault says about us, in the news.
You know, if that's their only point and experience with Mohawks of Kahnawake, they're going to have a negative opinion, right? And if people are coming here with an open mind to learn about things and learn about the community, learn about our culture, and learn about our history, that then it pays off in dividends because it helps them bring back.
It's a ripple effect.
The knowledge that they've to their circles, right?
But not only to their circles, it's bringing back our knowledge to ourselves as well. You know, every time we share, we learn more, and we're instilling more pride within ourselves of who we are, about our culture, about our language, about our history, about our town. You know, it's not just for the tourists that we're doing this. You know, if we can get like maybe 5 people a year who are sustaining themselves off of either being a tour guide or being an artist who can live off of their craft by showcasing it, why not? Hey, if you're a basket maker and you want to do this and you want to do it as tours and you want to sell your products that you make and come to our events, or, you know, we could help you. And that's amazing.
Yes. And the community has a history of tourism. You know, if you look back into the early 1900s and, you know, the old Indian village, and, you know, that business was something that was lasting for decades, right? And that helped, you know, a lot of local families make ends meet.
But it also helped keep a lot of our crafts, you know, with our elders who are passing it down today still. You know, you hear about it and you hear about the old beadwork, and, you know, we have people who come here and sell the old beadwork, and, oh, this came from Kahnawake, and the different styles, and, you know, like, we got to keep it going. And it's not saying it's just tourism that's going to keep it going, but it's helping.
Yeah, I mean, and then you look at things like just a couple of weeks ago here at Iori, we did a story about a 100-year-old canoe being returned to the community, and it's now at the cultural center. And you know, that's something that's important.
Yeah, right? And, you know, as our cultural center is going to be growing, right? We're hopefully crossing my fingers right now. Like, the groundbreaking is happening soon. You know, it's in the works that it's happening. And once we have that new center, when we have our theater, we'll have more activities there. The location, it's going to be so nice, and we're going to have so many other opportunities to offer, but so many items also that are going to be repatriated to us, because we're going to have that proper museum space to finally have it. So what else are we going to have that was ours? That is ours. That's not here.
Yeah. You know, so there's a lot of exciting things coming to the community, and that tourism and tourists will benefit from, right? And again, that's a lot of exciting things that are on the horizon.
Yeah, always really exciting. And I mean, I guess I'll just throw that in there. Like, I hope that kids are looking at this as maybe a possible thing to study. It's not what I planned about talking today, but it just came to me. When I went into school a long time ago, I studied travel and tourism, and I didn't know where it was going to lead me. There was no jobs in tourism at the time in Kahnawake. And I was like, I'm going to leave Kahnawake. I'm going to work somewhere else. But then as I grew older and I learned, like, I don't want to leave Kahnawake. It's my home. Like, this is where I should be. And then our tourism office was created and etc. Right? So there's so many jobs that are going to be coming. Like, I hope that kids who are maybe in high school or post-secondary are looking at this or their parents are helping them and saying, hey, you're really good at history. Why don't you study this? And maybe you can work at the new cultural center. We're going to have a real museum.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, that's wild, is that in the past you had people studying in different things like art history and history and whatnot. But at the end of their formal education, and they have a degree in art history or a degree in history, how are they practically going to apply it for a job in the community when nothing exists, right?
Yeah.
So now, through this new project, there's the possibility now, right?
Yeah. And we already have like the current jobs just to start when we open the building, right? Like what we're going to need and how we're going to fill in that capacity. But then let's think like in 10 years after that, like how big is it going to grow in terms of our activities? And like you said, like, okay, if there's somebody who's studying in art history, what if they have to do a stage? They could come to us, if they can come right to our museum and they can study here instead of going all other places like McCord Museum. Like, they don't have to travel. They could just stay here in the community. And like, there's so many other things like the theater. Like, I hope kids are thinking about that. Like, oh, like that's a possible career now.
We're always looking to collaborate and do different projects with organizations across the community. So it's like untapped potential right now with all the people, graduating from these programs. So that's definitely going to be something that we're looking to provide for young people.
Yeah, it's exciting. And if anybody wants to come and work at the tourism office, we always hire part-time students. Side note.
Always looking.
Yeah, like Bronwyn could use the help with the events coordinating. We have our tour coordinator who gets help during the summer. And then possibly even like Kaya will have like a part-time assistant doing communications or public relations, attending events outside of the community. So it's like there's exciting things that you can be involved in. It's a really fun place to work. I think we have a really great team going. Like,
I love it.
Good vibes.
It's a good place. Good place.
And yeah, so lots of exciting things. I'm really excited for these, like now that these events are happening, the Harvest Fest, like we had our Corn Fest that happened in, oh my gosh, August.
Yeah.
I'm so lost, guys. Our Strawberry Fest. Every year we're building upon our events. We had our art fair and that one's just like amazing, just showcasing, like we always showcase our artists, but like having an art fair, it's like we're so, I don't know, it's like fancy, like
bougie,
having,
it's
bougie, yeah. It's real nice. Because man, we got some really good artists and doing all different types of styles. It doesn't have to just be cultural. It's really, really fantastic having all those opportunities for our people. And then I'm excited too for our Let's Talk tourism sessions. I want to hear from people. Like I want to have these discussions. Like let's hash it out. I want to talk.
Yeah, because that's how, if there's an issue, that's how you get over it, right?
And let's work together, let's put our minds together and really see, all right, so what's the problem or what can we do as a solution? What's working? What's not working? Let's figure it out. I'm excited for those. And what else we got coming up? I think that's about it for now for this podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll be back next month and we'll have more to talk about, I'm sure. I'm hoping to bring in some special guests next month, maybe from Quebec Indigenous Tourism, or we'll see.
Okay, great. So if there's nothing else for us to talk about, we'll say, thank you and see you guys again next month and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, well, you too. Anna.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Iori and its employees.